Is it, too late to say good morning?
Not at all.
I'm sorry, Mother. I know we were going shopping this morning. I remembered, but...
We can go next Saturday.
I, borrowed the car last night to go to Rod's apartment.
Oh?
Suppose you think that's a wild, stupid, impulsive thing to do?
Well, I just hope you have a good reason. The paper said that Rod was questioned about Joe Chernick's death. You know he was involved?
I was at the desk when a call came in for an ambulance to be sent to the wharf. I recognized Rod's voice, but he wouldn't admit it. I kept thinking that he'd call back, and when he didn't, I got worried.
He didn't say anything about Joe?
Mm-mm. I just kept thinking how Rod's voice sounded. I think I knew something terrible had happened. Then Dr. Rossi came back to the Schuster house with Joe's sister. It was horrible. They had to tell Mrs. Chernak her son was dead.
How awful. So that's why you went to see Rodney. Well, it was impulsive, all right, but only you know whether or not it was stupid.
A policeman came for Rod just as I was leaving the apartment. I think you know him, Sergeant Goddard.
Do you mean to tell me that you were there
I
when...
know, Mother. It was impulsive and stupid. But just the same, right now, this minute, I want to see him and I want to talk to him. I want to know for sure that everything is all right with him.
Well, Betty, it's natural to be concerned about Rod, but...
Is it natural? Why did I have to go to his apartment? He didn't ask for my help. I just went to him willfully, Mother.
Look, darling, all I'm saying is I understand what you're trying to tell me. There's no crime in what you did.
But you don't understand. I ran away to New York to get courage, and I got it. It scared me to death, but I came back here, and I faced people. And I faced my own failure and embarrassment. For a while there, I couldn't bear to look at Rodney, not for a moment, for fear I'd betray my own feelings. And then progress. Somehow I could look at him. I could see old friends. I could live without feeling so incomplete and so lonely. I could even think about going to the Harrington house with Stephen without feeling depressed or frightened or... And then that one phone call from Rod, just one phone call. And suddenly I don't care about anything or anyone. Not that party, not Stephen, nothing but Rod. It's frightening to have those feelings about someone who can never be.
It's no crime to be vulnerable, Betty.
But my feelings are so confusing.
They're confusing to you now. Betty, honey, don't wish them out of existence. Don't try to turn them off. What you're feeling for Rod right now could be, well, it could be called loyalty. And there's nothing the matter with the feeling of loyalty for a man.
But we have no future, I know that. That's why I hate the helpless way I feel.
You're my daughter. There's no question about that. I love you very much.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Anderson. Could I speak to your daughter for a moment?
Of course, Ed. Come in.
Thank you. I just want to ask you a few questions, Miss Anderson.
Yes, it's all right.
Would you like for me to leave, Ed?
Oh, no, it's not necessary.
Well, sit down. Have a cup of coffee?
Thank you. Oh, no. Louise tells me you're back at your old job, cracking the whip on the rest of the secretaries as usual.
Well, when I take my vacation, I'm going to see that Louise takes over for me. Then we'll see what sort of weapon she chooses to get the work out.
The hospital said that you were on duty when the call came for the ambulance for Chernick.
Yes, I was.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who was it that called?
Rodney Harrington.
Oh, he identified himself?
No, he didn't have to. I know his voice.
Oh, yes, of course. You were married to him. How long were you at Harrington's before I came?
Just a few minutes.
Would you mind telling me why you were there?
I had to talk to him.
About the accident?
Yes.
Well, did Rodney discuss with you what had happened?
Well, sort of.
Well, would you mind being more specific? I mean, what exactly did you discuss about Joe Chernick's death?
He said it was accidental, that they had an argument.
That was all?
Yes. Do I have to answer any more questions?
Just one more. Did Rodney mention he wanted to go to the police?
Yes, he said he had to leave right away.
Well, then he was aware that he had delayed reporting the accident to the police.
I can't answer that.
I see. Well, thank you very much, Miss Anderson. You've been very helpful. Very helpful. I'm sorry to bother you.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Thank you.
You're an early bird this morning.
More like a bedraggled night owl.
Want some coffee?
Please. Who won the ball game?
Oh, I never look at the sports page.
Well, in that case, may I borrow it?
Go right ahead.
Stephen Cord.
Yes, you're with Ted Dowell's office, aren't you?
Yes, I met you at a Law Association luncheon.
That's right, I remember.
You know, baseball fascinates me. Two well-matched individuals locked in a pitching duel. It's not very different from the adversary concept of law.
Well, baseball's a team sport. A good pitcher can't win unless he has batting strength behind him.
I thought you didn't follow sports.
I played a little.
Do you mind if I join you?
No, not at all.
Now, Boston could use a couple of good left-handers right now.
Now, that's not all Boston could use. I don't like Boston. I guess I just don't like cities. About the only thing I can go for is a good meal. There's a restaurant near Faneuil Hall. Wonderful Indian pudding.
I've eaten there often. I'm from Boston. But I was born in Peyton Place. Rodney Harrington and I grew up together. I hope the trouble last night wasn't serious.
Pretty serious, Mr. Cord. The boy's dead.
But surely you don't think young Harrington killed him.
You're as interested in fishing as you are in baseball, aren't you?
Well, I spent a lot of time on corporation work. There's something very fascinating about criminal law.
Criminal proceedings are something no one would initiate if he had a choice.
But sometimes there isn't any choice, right, Mr. Fowler? That is, if justice is to be served.
Would you excuse me, Mr. Cord? I have a very heavy schedule today.
On Saturday, Mr. Fowler?
Yes, on Saturday, Mr. Cord.
Morning.
Oh, morning, Steve.
I thought I'd catch up on some work. Would you like me to take the contracts off your hands?
No, thank you. I'm almost through.
Then I'll revise these tax projections. That is, unless we have something with more priority.
I don't think so.
And it was just routine last night, bringing Rodney in?
That's right. He signed a statement and they released him.
He signed a statement.
Oh, I advised him against it, but he insisted.
Mr. Dell, didn't you
You
explain?
needn't concern yourself, Stephen. There's no reason for anyone to question his statement.
Well, of course not. Fowlers are not in the habit of questioning Harringtons, are they? I'm only suggesting that the Harrington name is no longer sufficient insurance in a criminal investigation.
You're full of suggestions, aren't you? You suggest you could be useful to me in my office. You suggested that it would be in my interest to take over the account of the Peyton mill. Last night, you suggested that David Schuster should let the mill go under. Now you're suggesting that I'm inadequate to the demands of the Harrington guardianship. What are you after in Peyton Place?
I was born here, sir. This is my home.
A sentimental journey. Is that what you're selling? Well, I'm not buying. I know you're in a hurry, but don't get ahead of yourself. One more enemy is one more than you can afford.
I wasn't aware that I'd offended so many people. Perhaps I have some reconsidering to do. Maybe my future isn't here in Peyton Place. Maybe I've been intruding right from the start.
Try and understand, Steve. You've lived in Boston a long time. Values are different in a big city. I wouldn't want you to have a crash landing before you get off the ground.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Maybe I've been neglecting my job here. If I were doing a little more to earn my keep, you might not have to be so submerged in fine print. Let me finish those for you, sir. You have enough on your mind.
I just wonder what's on John Fowler's mind. He insisted on being there to record this. He even asked Rodney to amplify it.
And did he?
Yes.
I just had breakfast with John Fowler at the inn. It's just my opinion, of course, but I don't think there's any question that he's going to make a case against Rodney.
Why?
Well, he's not a man that gives away anything. Very professional. But there were indications.
Of what?
He might have a predisposition, an axe to grind.
Oh, because of his father? No, I don't believe it. John Fowler is a professional in every respect.
Maybe. But Harrington did withhold evidence, and Carson was sent to jail because of it. It must have given old man Fowler some bitter moments in his old age.
I couldn't for a moment suspect John Fowler of conducting a personal vendetta against Rodney.
Well, I could be wrong. I don't know the man as well as you do. I just thought it was a little ominous that he was headed for the police station on a Saturday morning.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I saw Joe yesterday in the afternoon. He wanted me to go with him again. He grabbed me, and he kissed me.
You may not see it, Rodney, but you need me. My experience. You've got to have confidence in me.
I'm beginning to wonder how much confidence you have in me.
Tell Daddy what you saw on the wharf.
Mom!